As our pace will be slow, we figured it out that a golf cart tour will be able to take us to places that we may not have the time to go. This is the route we will be taking. It starts off at Trevi Fountain and ends at Victor Emmanuel II Monument. The route is slightly flexible, and we have requested to skip the Spanish Steps and Colosseum as we will be visiting on our own. This gave us more time on other destinations.
And this is the China street, you take to go to your basically, the restaurant is that one there, you see?
Yes. Yes.
And you're a bit to the left. So,
Mine is a bit to the left.
Really,
Okay, we can try.
right next to your
Definitely.
restaurant.
We can try tonight if they're not correct.
Always better if you have a reservation. If you want,
Yeah.
you can already call them or put them.
Oh, I see.
We are now driving past the Palazzo del Quirinale, the official residence of the President of Italy. The fountain outside the President residence is called the Fontana dei Dioscuri. We are now going to drive through the Aurelian Walls. The walls were built between 271 to 275 AD, during the reign of the Roman emperors Aurelian and Probus. This is the map of the Aurelian Walls. It encompassed the 7 hills of Rome, including Vatican and Trastevere district. The official rates for normal taxi to and from the Fiumicino airport to address within the Aurelian Walls is €50, so you should consider to look for hotels located inside the walls. We are now entering into a very popular park in Rome. The Villa Borghese Gardens are located on the Pincian Hill. It is near to Spanish Steps and Piazza del Popolo. Villa Borghese was formerly a vineyard and was re-landscaped into a garden in 1606 by Cardinal Scipione Borghese, who wanted to turn his vineyard into the most extensive gardens in Rome. Besides the Borghese Gallery and Museum, many visitors of the garden would make their way to Terrazza Viale del Belvedere for a panoramic view of Rome. Our next stop is Piazza del Popolo. It means the People's Square. In order to get the whole perspective of its design, you need to have an aerial view. Porta del Popolo is the gate at the north of the piazza which leads to Via Flaminia, a road built in 220 AD to connect Rome with the Adriatic coast. Travelers coming in and out of Rome would pass by here. The current layout of the piazza was designed by Giuseppe Valadier from 1811 to 1822. This is Basilica Santa Maria del Popolo, built between 1472 and 1477. The main attraction of this church are the 12 side chapels. A 36 meters high Egyptian obelisk stood at the center of the square. It dates back to 1300 BC and was originally in the Sun Temple of Heliopolis, Egypt. It was then taken to Rome by Emperor Augustus to be displayed at the Circus Maximus. Two identical churches, Santa Maria dei Miracoli and Santa Maria in Monte Santo, stand at the southern end of the piazza. They gives the piazza a symmetrical look. The piazza branches out to Via del Babuino, Via del Corso, and Via di Ripetta. These roads are popular for shopping, and it leads to the Spanish Steps as well. At the side of the piazza is Fountain of Neptune. The statue of Neptune is flanked by two statues of tridents. At the opposite side stands the fountain of the goddess Rome. The goddess Roma is flanked by the statues of the Tiber and Anniine rivers. Below her, we can see the statues of a she-wolf, suckling the twins Romulus and Remus, founders of Rome. On the left is Via del Babuino, and on the right is Via di Ripetta. We are now driving on Via del Corso. There are many shops and restaurants here. We'll be back to do some shopping 2 days later. We are now at Gelateria Cerci, besides Rolling Rome office for our free gelato. After our gelato, it's time to move on to another wonderful site. This is Giardino degli Aranci, the orange trees garden. The garden is located on Aventine Hill and is home to many orange trees belonging to the bitter orange variety. This type of orange is not to be eaten, but to make into syrup for drinks. Our guide, Eugene, has shown us something very special. You got to try it out too. From here, look at the dome of St. Peter's Basilica. This is what you see. Due to the surrounding trees, it creates an optical illusion that makes the dome bigger. Now, walk towards the viewing point. You'll notice how far is the dome, and it look really small, but it looks bigger earlier. Why? Well, let's not think so much, just enjoy the city view up here. Another popular attraction on the hill is the Aventine Keyhole. We didn't queue up to see since we don't have the time, but from the internet you can see how it looks like. The Aventine Keyhole offers the most unique view of St. Peter's Basilica. The grounds just behind the door belong to the Knights of Malta, a sovereign country in Rome with no territory. So when you peek through the keyhole, you are seeing 3 countries: Malta, Italy, and Vatican City. What's strange is that nobody knows why the keyhole was aligned in this way and who made it. This is Circus Maximus, an ancient Roman stadium built for chariot racing. It is located in the valley between Aventine and Palatine Hills. It was the largest stadium in ancient Rome. At 621 meters in length and 118 meters in width, it could hold over 150,000 spectators. According to medieval legend, the mouth of truth is a lie detector. It will bite off the hand of any liar who places their hand in its mouth. It was probably used to test the criminals. This is our last drive pass before heading back to our B&B. The Victor Emmanuel II monument was built to honor Victor Emmanuel II, who unified Italy in 1861. It is also known as the Altar of the Fatherland and sometimes by its nickname, the wedding cake, for its boxy shape and layers that resemble a wedding cake.
also, if you want to put your face all the way down here, it's too low, and then you're gonna get it in your nose. Not the best way to do it. What you do is just use one finger, and then you just plug it like so. And then okay, now a pro tip. This one, I don't know if they told you where they watched it.
We also wanted to experience night scenery of Rome, but it is impossible to cover everything in one night. So we booked a sunset golf tour with Rolling Rome again, since it can pick you up at almost any locations. The tour starts at 7 p.m. and will end at 9:30 p.m. We had an early dinner before our golf cart tour commenced. Our first stop is Galleria Ciaro, located very near Trevi Fountain. It was built in 1885 as a palace courtyard. After Piazza Colonna, we stopped by the Monsters House. Palazzetto Zuccari was built in the 16th century by Federico Zuccari, a famous Italian painter. His intention was to frighten visitors on the way to the palace. It is now part of a library. We are now at the top of the Spanish Steps. This is our next stop, Pincio Terrace in the Villa Borghese Park. Besides panoramic view of Rome cityscape, you can also see Piazza del Popolo on the terrace. We are now at Porta del Popolo, the city gate of the Aurelian walls that marks the border between Piazza del Popolo and Piazzale Flaminio. As you approach the entrance gate, you can see the intricate design of the piazza. At the heart of the piazza stands the obelisk, with twin churches standing tall behind it. The piazza then splits into 3 roads, all aligned symmetrically. Ancient travelers would be awestruck by the breathtaking sights before them as they enter Rome. Our next stop is the Spanish Steps, the longest and widest staircase in Europe. It looks stunning at night. The crowds are noticeably lesser at night. Good opportunity to take photos. This is the statue of Pasquino. The statue is known as the first of the talking statues of Rome, because of the tradition of attaching anonymous criticisms to its base. Just a short distance from Campo di Fiori, hidden in the narrow alley, is Arco degli Assatori. It is a tiny medieval square, with rustic, vine-covered houses. The Colosseum is truly magnificent, especially at night. It's definitely worth visiting if you have some time in the evening. The way the lights illuminate the ancient architecture is truly breathtaking. We are now back at our B&B near the Trevi Fountain. It is still so crowded at 9:30 p.m. We'll have to wake up early tomorrow morning to beat the crowd. So should you book a golf cart tour? If yes, should you go for night or day tour? We love the sunset tour as the night scenery of Rome is so beautiful. The city skyline is amazing at night, and many attractions are lit up, creating a refreshing change from the bustling afternoon. The tour is suitable for anyone who wants to experience the beauty of Rome at night. For those who are visiting Rome for the first time or have a short trip, a day tour can provide a comprehensive experience. It takes you to many popular tourist destinations that you may not have time to visit individually. It can be a tricky situation for people who have ample time in Rome and plan to visit numerous popular attractions. Should you spend money on a golf cart tour? My suggestion would be to skip the destinations that you have already planned to visit and instead spend more time at some of the places. You can make the most of the golf cart by riding up the Pincian and Aventine Hills, which offer a breathtaking view of the city skyline. If you find our video informative and helpful, kindly click on the subscribe button as we plan to upload more videos in the future. Join us in our next video as we wander around the shopping streets near Spanish Steps. Thank you for watching.